A 2-year-old child was lured out of their bedroom in the middle of the night, taken into a room that had already been prepared, restrained, their neck tightened to the point where they could no longer breathe, and then pushed into a swimming pool from the second floor inside the very hotel where the family was staying. All of it unfolding within just a few short hours. The perpetrator was a stranger the family had only met earlier that same day.
It was back in April when 2-year-old Kalia Gayton died after being found unresponsive in an Enid hotel pool.
Police say Michael Geiger sexually assaulted Kalia before he murdered her, and today he went before a judge.
How could such a horrific tragedy happen right before the eyes of those who were supposed to protect that child? Kalia Gayton was born on July 9th, 2019, and from the very moment she came into the world, she became everything to Chelsea Gayton and Cody Buckingham. With her soft blonde hair, chubby cheeks, and a radiant smile, Kalia brought a sense of warmth to anyone around her. Energetic, curious, and full of life, she loved to run around, explore everything in sight, and turn the smallest things into joy. But what stood out even more was how quick she was. At just 2 years old, Kalia could already recite the alphabet, count numbers, and recognize colors as well as different animals. She often called herself the boss baby, and once made the whole family laugh when she referred to her newborn cousin as the crying baby. In the eyes of those who loved her, Kalia was a bright, innocent soul, one that could never be replaced. In April 2022, Kalia's family temporarily gathered in Enid, Oklahoma, where her grandparents, Jeannie Spanky Brown and Kevin Charlie Brown, were living at the Grand Prairie Inn while waiting to move into a new place. Because the hotel allowed pets, they stayed together with their dogs in a single room. Cody and Chelsea brought Kalia in from out of town, partly so Cody could see his mother again, and so Jeannie could spend time with her granddaughter. Everyone, 2 couples, their pets, and a 2-year-old child, shared room 149. It wasn't a luxurious place, but it was enough for them to settle in for a short while, and none of them could have imagined that this very place would soon become the setting for a tragedy that would leave the entire community in shock. At around 10 a.m. on April 27th, Jeannie took Kalia down to the hotel lobby for breakfast before starting her workday. After that, she brought Kalia back to room 149 and got ready for her afternoon shift at Atwood's Ranch and Home Goods, scheduled to begin at 2:30 p.m. During that time, Charlie stayed behind to watch Kalia. He took her down the hallway to the ice machine, a small trip, but enough to feel like an adventure to her. While they were there, they happened to run into another man staying at the hotel, tall, bald, covered in tattoos, appearing to be in his 40s to 50s. The man struck up a conversation, asking if Kalia wanted some chips or candy, and Charlie agreed to let her have a little. The exchange was brief. The man complimented how cute Kalia was, then said, "God bless you, sir," before heading back to his room upstairs. Afterward, Charlie and Kalia returned to room 149 with the bucket of ice, rejoining the family while Jeannie finished getting ready before leaving for work. At around 2:30 p.m. that afternoon, a friend came to pick Jeannie up for work. Because the hotel only issued 2 key cards, Jeannie left both of them with Cody and Charlie so they could move in and out easily while she was away, which also meant that when she returned later that night, someone inside would need to let her in, something the family was already used to. A few hours after Jeannie left, Cody and Chelsea took Kalia out briefly to pick up a few necessities at Walmart, then returned to the hotel at around 4:30 p.m. After that, the 3 of them headed down to the indoor pool. Kalia got into the water with Cody and Chelsea, while Charlie sat nearby, watching and chatting. After a while, Charlie went back to room 149 to rest, but leaving Cody, Chelsea, and Kalia to continue spending time at the pool. After Charlie returned to the room, the man they had encountered earlier showed up at the pool area and approached Cody and Chelsea. He introduced himself as Michael Geiger, saying he had just checked in that day and was using two rooms, 247 and 249, on the second floor. Michael explained that he had been hired by the hotel to handle some repair work and that having access to two rooms was part of the arrangement. The conversation quickly became relaxed, and Michael invited Cody and Chelsea to stop by his room later that night to hang out. During the exchange, Michael also mentioned Kalia, saying the child was very cute, a small detail that would later take on a much darker weight. After leaving the pool area, Cody and Chelsea brought Kalia back to room 149, where Charlie was already inside. Charlie later recalled that all three of them seemed exhausted after swimming and quickly got into bed to rest. Sometime between 8:30 and 9 p.m., Charlie fell asleep, believing everyone was still in the room at that moment. But in reality, Cody and Chelsea had other plans. Once Charlie and Kalia were asleep, Cody and Chelsea quietly left the room and went up to the second floor to meet Michael in rooms 247 and 249, just as he had invited them earlier. Even though they had noticed a few warning signs, including tattoos that suggested a past in correctional environments, Cody and Chelsea still chose to go. According to public records, Michael had been released from the North Fork Correctional Facility on March 9, 2022, after serving time for serious violent offenses in the past. It was a crucial detail, because just weeks after regaining his freedom, Michael had entered this family's life, and what followed would change everything forever. In early April, Michael contacted Tiffany, his adult daughter who was living in Enid. Tiffany had never met Michael before and didn't even know this relationship existed, but she still chose to help him. She was working at the Grand Prairie Inn and assisted Michael in getting a place to stay, as well as a temporary job there. On April 27th, Tiffany and a friend drove about 100 miles to Oklahoma City to pick Michael up and bring him back to Enid. And it was on that very same day that Michael met Cody and the family. When Michael first saw Kalia, he had been out of custody for less than 1 month and had only been in Enid for a matter of hours. Unaware of Michael's past, Cody and Chelsea later went up to room 247 at his invitation, where they drank alcohol and used harmful substances together. While they were there, Michael made a shocking offer. He said he would pay $5,000 if Chelsea stayed with him for 24 hours. Chelsea refused immediately, but Cody said he might know another woman who could be interested in the offer. While Cody was on the phone, Michael left room 247, went into the adjacent room, and closed the door behind him. Cody's friend agreed to the arrangement, but asked that Cody and Chelsea pick her up and bring her back to the hotel. Before leaving, Cody knocked on the door to let Michael know the plan, and when the door opened, Michael was standing there completely unclothed, a detail that made the situation feel even more unsettling. From that point on, what happened over the next hour becomes unclear. According to their statements, both Cody and Chelsea were under the influence of harmful substances, so the timeline they provided may not be entirely accurate. Cody claimed they left the hotel at around 11:30 p.m., insisting that the door to room 149 had been locked and that Kalia was still asleep inside. Chelsea drove to their friend's house, and the friend later stated they arrived at approximately 11:54 p.m. They stayed there for nearly an hour, before heading back to the hotel together, preparing to continue the plan with Michael. Jeannie finished her shift at the warehouse at around 11 to 11:10 p.m., then headed back to the hotel with a friend, stopping for gas along the way. Even so, when she said she arrived back at the Grand Prairie Inn at around 11:30 p.m. and went straight up to room 149. When she got there, she immediately noticed something was wrong. The door wasn't locked and was slightly ajar. Inside, Charlie and the dogs were still fast asleep, but Cody, Chelsea, and Kalia were nowhere to be seen. With a growing sense that something wasn't right, Jeannie called out, "Where's the baby?" Her voice didn't wake Charlie right away, but it startled the dogs, who jumped up and began barking, eventually waking him. Still groggy, Charlie insisted that everyone had been in the room when he fell asleep. The two of them tried to make sense of the situation. Maybe Cody and Chelsea had taken Kalia out, but that didn't match their usual behavior, especially that late at night. On top of that, Kalia was a deep sleeper, while not easily woken or taken anywhere without drawing attention. The fact that the door had been left open only made things more confusing, as if someone had left in a hurry or didn't want to wake anyone inside. Meanwhile, on the second floor of the hotel, a maintenance worker saw Michael leaving his room area, moving quickly down the hallway while carrying something that looked like a child-sized doll. Just minutes later, at around 11:47 p.m., the front desk clerk witnessed Michael rushing out of the hotel's main entrance toward the north, clearly panicked, wearing gloves and holding a pillowcase. Both employees felt that something was off and shared their observations with each other, but at that moment, they had no idea that a child was missing. According to statements, Cody and Chelsea stayed at their friend's house for about an hour before returning to the hotel, placing their arrival sometime after 1 a.m. With them was the woman they had contacted earlier. The three of them briefly considered stopping by room 149, but decided against it, believing Kalia was still asleep. Instead, they went straight up to the second floor to find Michael in room 249. When they knocked, they found the door unlocked, but no one was inside. They then tried room 247, but got no response there either. At that point, the accounts began to diverge. According to the woman with them, she suggested that Michael might be at the pool, and the three of them headed down there to look for him. Meanwhile, back in room 149, Jeannie was getting ready to take a shower and told Charlie to try to stay awake and wait for Cody and Chelsea to return. But while Jeannie was still in the bathroom, a frantic pounding erupted at the door, followed by Cody's panicked voice shouting, "Where is my daughter?" before he rushed off again, before Jeannie could even open it. This detail would later become a point of controversy, because based on the account, Cody seemed to already know something was wrong before checking the room. It's possible Jeannie's memory wasn't entirely accurate, but it's also possible Cody had seen something elsewhere in the hotel, something that has never been fully disclosed. Either way, Cody, Chelsea, and the woman with them then made their way down to the indoor pool. There, they found Kalia floating face down in the water, her body motionless, and her skin already turning blue and purple. A drawstring from a pair of men's orange swim trunks was still wrapped around her neck. She was only wearing a shirt, and one of her earrings had been torn from her ear. Cody immediately jumped into the water, pulled her out, and desperately attempted CPR. The woman with them noticed signs that something far more serious had happened beforehand. At the same time, a hotel employee called 911 in a state of panic, pleading for emergency assistance.
Is that her baby? Please, somebody please come. Somebody come now. Please. Okay, where are you at, Lee? Oh my God, I'm at the Grand Prairie Hotel. And it's a little girl that is in the pool. She's drowned. This lady and these two people just came down looking for her. And she was in the pool and she's drowned. Please send somebody right now. Oh God, she's blue. Oh God, please send somebody right now, ma'am. Well, help is on the way to you. I'm going to give you instructions on how to do CPR. CPR, but I got to tell you, I think this baby's gone because the face is blue, the extremities is blue, the baby was not moving.
Following the emergency call, first responders arrived at the scene at around 1:47 a.m. on April 28th and immediately began life-saving efforts, but Kalia showed no signs of recovery. Minutes later, she was transported by ambulance to Integris Bass Baptist Health Center, but nothing could change the outcome. Kalia was pronounced dead upon arrival. Doctors indicated there was reason to believe that a particularly severe act had occurred prior to her death. Back at the hotel, investigators discovered 2 key cards inside the pocket of the shorts that had been tied around Kalia's neck, and both cards were able to access rooms 247 and 249, where Michael had been staying. When officers searched room 247, they documented several disturbing details. Candy was neatly arranged on the bed, as if placed intentionally, but not scattered by accident. The television, when turned on, was set to a children's cartoon channel, and a bottle of fruit drink matched the kind found in Kalia's family's room. Based on these findings, investigators believed the room had been deliberately staged to lure a child inside. Inside room 247, investigators continued to document multiple signs indicating that a serious incident had taken place. Bloodstains were found on the bed, the floor, and various other surfaces throughout the room. They also discovered clothing and accessories consistent with Kalia's size, including a headband and the pink earring that had previously gone missing. In addition, the room contained men's clothing and a sock that matched personal items belonging to Michael from the adjacent room. Forensic analysis later revealed that the sock contained blood and biological material consistent with male DNA. All of the evidence collected at the scene further reinforced investigators' belief that this room was directly connected to what had happened to Kalia beforehand. While one team of investigators continued processing the scene in room 247, other officers immediately launched a search for Michael. They attempted to track him through his cell phone, but the signal led back to the hotel lobby. Upon checking, his phone was found inside a bag on a sofa, clearly left behind. At the same time, surveillance footage confirmed that Michael had left the hotel before midnight, carrying a white pillowcase that matched the front desk clerk's account. A K9 unit was brought in to track his scent, but worsening weather conditions quickly interfered, and the trail was lost near Richland Road, a few miles from the hotel. After hours of an intense search, at around 9:13 a.m. on April 28th, Michael was found hiding on the roof of a nearby building. When discovered, he did not resist and surrendered without incident. Officers noted multiple bloodstains on his hands, and near the hiding spot, they recovered a hat, gloves, and the pillowcase, all bearing related evidence. During questioning, Michael did not give a direct confession. However, according to the officers, several of his statements closely matched what they had already uncovered at the scene. Michael admitted to using 2 hotel rooms, but claimed that other individuals had also been present there, a detail that was not confirmed by any witnesses. He denied attacking or assaulting Kalia, but acknowledged that he had been in contact with her earlier that day and had given her chips and candy. When asked about the shorts connected to the case that were found at the scene, Michael did not provide a clear answer, only stating that he owned several similar pairs. On April 29, 2022, Michael was formally charged with multiple serious offenses, including causing the victim's tragic death, aggravated misconduct, and kidnapping. He was brought before Judge Brian Lovell, where prosecutors requested that he be held without bond, and that request was granted as the case continued to move forward through the legal process.
Are you remorseful?
It's back to court for the man charged in the vicious killing of a 2-year-old girl. And the crime dates back to the spring. And before we go any further here, we should tell you the details here are very graphic.
So if you have children who might be watching, you may have them leave the room. It was April when Enid police found 2-year-old Kalia Gayton's body in a hotel pool. After a lengthy manhunt, they found the suspect, Michael Geiger, covered in blood.
Today, he went before a judge yet again. News 4's Caitlin Ogle was in the courtroom.
This is the ramp Michael Geiger walked down to go into the courthouse. Once inside, he was able to meet with his attorney before they set a date for his preliminary hearing.
Are you remorseful?
Michael Geiger silently walking into the Garfield County Courthouse Wednesday. The 51-year-old faces first-degree murder, rape, kidnapping, and burglary charges. Back in April, Enid police say they found Kalia Gayton in the pool of the Grand Prairie Motel. The 2-year-old was unresponsive with orange shorts wrapped around her neck.
The nature of a call was a girl had drowned in the motel pool.
The medical examiner said she'd been raped and later died at the hospital. After an hours-long suspect search, police found Geiger on top of a nearby roof, his hands and clothes bloody.
It was right next door, so panic all day. Every scenario that you can think of.
Just a month before, Geiger had been released from prison after serving a 10-year kidnapping sentence.
We were told that he had been in the Enid area for some work and had recently come up and stayed at the motel.
Inside his motel room, investigators finding a, quote, very bloody scene that had been, quote, staged to lure Kalia because they found gummy bears, juice boxes, and cartoons on the TV. Monday, inside Judge Lovell's courtroom, Geiger sat silent. Attorneys and the judge setting a date for his preliminary hearing, November 16th at 9 a.m.
In November 2022, prosecutor Michael J. Fields filed a special motion formally seeking the maximum penalty for Michael, based on the aggravating circumstances of the case. In his argument, the prosecutor emphasized Michael's history of serious offenses and stated that the level of brutality demonstrated in this incident showed he remained an ongoing threat to the community, especially given that the reoffense occurred so soon after his release. The filing also included detailed findings from the medical examiner's report. According to the report, Kalia's body showed widespread signs of trauma, including visible bruising to the neck, face, chest, and multiple other areas. Injuries to the soft tissue, particularly around the neck, along with ruptured blood vessels, indicated that Kalia had been subjected to significant force that impaired her ability to breathe. Prolonged pressure and oxygen deprivation had caused severe damage to the brain. In addition, biological evidence found at the scene and on Kalia's body indicated that a particularly serious act had occurred while she was still alive. The report also documented lung involvement, with findings suggesting that Kalia experienced drowning while still exhibiting biological response. Based on all these factors, the cause of death was determined to be a combination of oxygen deprivation and drowning, and the manner of death was ruled a deliberate act leading to a tragic outcome. Although the forensic findings clarified what happened in Kalia's final moments, one major question remains unresolved: how Kalia left room 149 and ended up in Michael's room. Based on the information released, investigators believe Michael lured Kalia out of the room, but the exact mechanism has not been fully confirmed. Whether Michael had access to a type of key card capable of opening multiple rooms in the hotel has not been publicly clarified. There is also no definitive evidence showing whether the door to room 149 was locked that night, or how Kalia may have been awakened without alerting Charlie or the dogs. These gaps make it difficult to fully piece together the sequence of events. And to this day, the exact way Kalia left the room remains one of the most debated aspects of the case. On December 12th, Michael appeared at another hearing before Judge Tom Newby, and again did not enter a plea to the charges. The court had initially planned to bring the case to trial around May 2023, but that timeline was put on hold when motions were filed regarding Michael's competency to stand trial. By July 2023, the Oklahoma State Mental Health Authority submitted an evaluation concluding that Michael was not competent to proceed. The details of that report were not made public, as it was sealed by court order. Under Oklahoma law, a defendant has the right to choose whether a judge or a jury will determine competency, and on August 4th, Michael waived his right to a jury decision, leaving that determination to the judge. On November 1st, 2023, Judge Newby ruled that Michael was not competent due to a condition that prevented him from fully understanding the charges and from assisting his attorney in his defense. Michael also objected to the use of medication intended to stabilize his condition. The court then ordered that he be transferred to the Oklahoma Forensic Center in Veneta to develop a mandatory treatment plan. During this time, Michael was not held in a standard detention setting, but instead remained under supervision within the treatment facility. The judge noted that his condition could potentially improve over time, and if that were to happen, the facility would have 30 days to report back to the court. Until Michael is deemed competent, the case cannot move forward to trial. On May 4th, 2022, a petition on change.org was created, calling on authorities in Enid to examine the responsibility of Cody and Chelsea in connection with their daughter's death. The petition quickly gained attention, reaching over 4,000 signatures in a short period of time. It included a passage that read, "We want justice as a community for this sweet little girl. Her parents should also be charged. Please sign our petition." The public wants to know that no one gets away with negligence toward Kalia. The public wants law enforcement to charge the parents with negligence, or at least child endangerment. The person who posted the petition also made several allegations regarding Cody and Chelsea's behavior at the hotel and during a public prayer gathering. However, these claims were not confirmed by official sources. Amid growing public pressure, Chelsea later issued a statement on June 8, 2022, affirming her position. "There is absolutely no reason this should have happened to my child. This is by far the worst thing I have ever had to go through. Thank you to my family and some friends for all the supportive messages, and to those sending hateful messages to my inbox. And just know I would never allow anything like this to happen or ever allow anyone to harm my child in any way." On March 8, 2023, Cody and Chelsea filed a civil lawsuit against the Grand Prairie Inn in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Oklahoma, seeking damages related to what happened at the hotel, and the case remains ongoing. A few months later, around June 2023, images shared publicly showed that Chelsea had given birth to a baby boy, Kalia's younger brother, and had even brought him to visit his sister's resting place. However, by July 2023, Chelsea was arrested in connection with possession of a controlled substance, and that information quickly spread online. Meanwhile, the family held a private memorial to say goodbye to Kalia. They placed a large headstone featuring an image of Kalia smiling above her name, with a black marble heart at the center supported by the figure of an angel. Surrounding it were decorative details and flower arrangements that changed with the seasons, quietly but lovingly, keeping Kalia's memory alive. Just one day after the incident, on April 29, 2022, the community in Enid came together to hold a prayer vigil in the town square in memory of Kalia. Hundreds of people showed up, many wearing pink, Kalia's favorite color, as a way to honor the little girl. The vigil was organized by Aaron Forrest, Taylor Gordon, and Brittany Lee, who were deeply moved after learning about her story. As night fell, people lit candles and raised the glow of their phones, standing in a moment of silence filled with emotion. After the vigil, the sound of local car clubs echoed through the area as a unique farewell for Kalia. And the family was also present. Chelsea did not speak publicly, but later shared with a reporter, "I will miss everything about her. I'll miss her telling me that she loves me more." Cody spoke briefly while lighting a candle. "Daddy loves you, baby." And among all the words shared that night, perhaps the most heartbreaking came from a young relative. "Whenever we heard the news, we just broke down. This is only a goodbye, not a final farewell to Kalia." Kalia's case leaves behind not only grief, but also a stark warning about how seemingly small moments can lead to irreversible consequences. Sometimes a single careless decision or a brief lapse in awareness is enough to change everything forever. This story reminds us that a child's safety should never be taken lightly, and especially in unfamiliar environments and around people who are not truly known. If there is one thing to take away, it is this: never trade safety for convenience or for a moment of temporary comfort. Thank you for staying until the end of today's true crime documentary. If this story made you reflect, please share the video, leave a comment as a way to remember Kalia, and don't forget to subscribe and hit like to support me in bringing more stories like this. I'll see you again in the next episodes.